What is up, guys? Jake from OneHive here with our next theory craft video. It's been a while since we've done one like this, just a way to talk about the game, the stats of the game, where it's at, where the players, the community is at, and what could be done to improve it. No one could argue, I think there's very few people that would argue the point of, man, I'm enjoying Clash of Clans more than I ever have. Is at my, this is the high point for me of Clash of Clans. I think that would be a very uncommon standpoint, and it's definitely not one that I hold, and not one that I think a lot of my viewers hold. In fact, I've had a lot of viewers move on, and it makes me sad. This was probably one of my favorite games I've ever played, and to see it in decline is unfortunate. Now, I think SuperCell has taken some steps, and I think some more steps are coming to try to rekindle that fire that was the Clash community, let's say a year ago. But it's just yet to be seen if they will do enough, if they will take the right steps and move on. So this video is actually going to talk about a few things that I think they need to do to make Clash of Clans great again in 2016. That's going to be the title of the video. And just, some of you guys are going to love it. Some of you guys are going to hate it. Some of you guys are going to agree with me. Some of you are not. And all of that is fine. These are just my opinions, my suggestions, where I'm coming from and the way I look at the game. So if you don't like them, sorry. If you do, all right, cool. First thing, and I'm going to talk about this first to get it out of the way and get it over with. This is not going to be a video about cheating, but I am going to address it. I'm not going to ignore it. I'm never going to ignore it. So many people tell me to just, stop talking about it. It's never going to go away, and I refuse to believe that. If I'm an idiot, okay, sorry, I'm an idiot. But I do not believe that. I think it's easily combated, and we're going to talk about that now. But the bottom line is Clash of Clans has to have at least a serious effort to remove cheating from their game for it to be great again. Now, you can argue all you want about how much fun cheating is and all that. There is no evidence to support anything besides cheating kills games. And there's numerous games you can point to and say, here's an example of great games that were completely destroyed. I'm talking about the end of the game from cheating and it getting out of hand. And that is definitely the direction that Clash is going if they don't do something about it. There is, and I tweeted about it this week, and that's one of the reasons I want to talk about it. There is but one deterrent for cheating. And a lot of the cheaters' arguments and people that just don't care, their argument is, look, there's always cheating in games, and there's always going to be cheating in games. Just get over it. And yes, that's true. I will never deny that. There's always going to be people trying to find that unfair advantage. The thing is, though, there is but one deterrent for it. There's no cure for it. There's no magic silver bullet for cheating. There's always going to be people trying to figure out a way around the system. But there is a deterrent that works across the board, especially in a game like Clash of Clans that requires either one, a tremendous amount of money to get to a high level, or two, a tremendous amount of time. We're talking years to get to these Town Hall 10, Town Hall 11 levels. So nobody that has spent either 1 year investing into their base, their troops, their Clash, is going to want to give that up if they know that it's a possibility they could lose that account if they cheat. If someone has spent $10,000 or more, very few of those people are wealthy enough to say, I don't care. I will cheat. If they catch me, I'll spend another $10,000 to get back where I was, or I'll quit the game. No one has that mindset. Permanent bans are a deterrent from cheating, and there's no argument against it. It's just like in life. It's like in anything. When you break rules, if there's no consequences, then what is the point of the rule? If there's no penalty for a crime, what is the deterrent for committing the crime? If there's no jail, if there's no death penalty, if there's nothing to dissuade you from breaking the rules, then there are no rules. And that's the state of Clash of Clans right now. It's the Wild West. There are no rules. There's no penalties. There's no punishment for anything that someone does, that they commit. They're actually harsher on people for using bad language in global chat than they are someone actually breaking their software and having an unfair advantage in war, or trophy pushing, or whatever. So number one, first and foremost, and it needs to be done within the first quarter. That leaves us 1 month, essentially, that Clash of Clans needs to fix this to make 2016 a great year for Clash of Clans. The year they take their game back, because it's not even theirs right now. Yes, they're still cashing checks. Yes, they're still getting rich. But the game is not even theirs anymore. It's really not. So they have to swift and permanent bans. And the argument of, oh, well, they're not going to do that because they'll lose so much money. Guys, that is ridiculous. As I just said, once they put the word out, we are going to start banning your accounts, and it's going to be permanent bans. We're going to say, thank you for the money that you spent on this game. We no longer want you in our community. Once that happens and they start actually banning some account and word gets out, one of two things happens with those people that are doing it. One, they'll either straighten up and play clean, or two, they'll sell their accounts, and someone else that will also play the game and will also spend money will take those accounts over and they will continue on. They are not going, it's not like they're going to have to ban every single modder in the game. Once the penalty and the line in the sand is drawn and says no more, no longer, then it's going to be a ripple effect, and very quickly. One of those two things are going to happen. They're either going to stop and play it straight up because they don't want to risk losing that account that they've spent years building or they've spent thousands of dollars on, or they're going to simply sell it to someone else that's willing to play it fair. And what does SuperCell care if it's one person playing an account or another? They all will buy gems. They will all gem hero levels in the future. They will all finish up things. If it's a maxed account, then there's no more gems to be bought on that account anyways, besides a minor amount for attacks. So that's how you fix it. And I thought it was an interesting comparison to their new game, Clash Royale. Some of you guys that follow Pat might have noticed that he sent out, in my opinion, what were some angry tweets this week. And no hate against Pat. Pat and I are buddies. He's a good guy. I think I'm actually happy to see him speaking out against it in a game so early on. But we're talking about another SuperCell game that has not even went to global launch yet, and already they have problems with cheating. But what you're going to see is a stark difference, in my opinion, in the reaction that you're gonna have from the Clash Royale team and the Clash of Clans team. And I'll tell you why. Clash Royale is a game that is completely based on competition. The sole purpose of the game is one person competing against another. Now the problem is, when you have that, nobody wants to play a game that they can't win because someone else is cheating and they have an unfair advantage. Everyone in the whole freaking game will quit. No one will want to continue to play. It's all about competition. Unfortunately, Clash is not that way. We are in a very small segment in the war community to where all we do is about competition, but the vast, vast majority of the people out there, that's not what it's about to them. It's a solo game. It has nothing to do with me versus you. It's just me building my base up, me collecting some trophies, me farming up. If someone out there that I never even run into is cheating, what do I care? But we don't have that experience. But I found it very interesting that, Pat and some of these other guys that are playing Clash Royale at a very high competitive level now have never really played at a high competitive level in Clash of Clans. And Pat will tell you himself, pushing is not a high competitive thing. It's just a time sink. It takes no skill. He has said it numerous times, and he's absolutely right. The only thing that shows that has true competition in Clash of Clans is the war scene. Now, it is infested and just wrought with cheaters, but those guys have never encountered that because they don't play wars at a high level. I'm not saying anything negative about that. I'm just stating a fact. They're not high-level war guys. They don't have arranged matchups, and they're not trying to be the best war clan in Clash of Clans, but they are trying to be the best in Clash Royale, and immediately they're running into this, and you can see the frustration. So I think they are probably going to see a little bit of what we have experienced. People have always said, well, why are you get so frustrated with it? Why does it bother you? I think these guys will understand now. These guys that are trying to play Clash Royale and be the top players in the world and beat the top players in the world, when you get cheated and you're putting that effort in there, you're putting the time in, is a very frustrating and helpless feeling. And you have Pat tweeting out, hey, don't buy any gems for Clash Royale. I wouldn't buy any gems until they fix the cheating and make it less pay to play. That will get results. You watch. Clash Royale will be clean before Clash of Clans will. And those are the reasons why, because you have people like him that are going to speak up about it because it directly affects them. In Clash of Clans, it's been smaller people like myself, like you guys, that we protest and we speak up, but we're just not big enough. We're not large enough to make a difference. But it's going to be the opposite. Clash Royale, you watch and you see. But number one on the list, there you go. Fix the cheating. It's real simple. Permanent bans. It will ripple through the community and it will eliminate it. You will have to ban some people. There'll be thousands of people that get banned, but it will bring more than thousands of people into your game for years and years to come if it's a clean, fun environment to play in. Number two, have more events. Last year, they were pumping out those events, those live events. There were some problems with it, but there's no question that gives the people in the community, your hardcore fans, whether it doesn't have to be just war guys, the hardcore people that love Clash really like those events, and they like seeing the production. They like seeing them put on. They like seeing Pat and Galadon up there on stage. They like watching that stuff and feeling like the game is interacting with the community. It's an event for us. put on by the company, but the events have to mean something. That is one thing that I think was lacking in 2015, is none of the events actually meant anything. It was just more of a hanging out and having a pretend war, in essence. They've got to have high-level guys up there. That's why I say that my number one thing was the cheating. It's got to be fixed in the first quarter, because anything going forward, for it to mean something, the cheating has to be eliminated. So have events and have them mean something. Have tournaments to get there. Have qualifying wars to level up, to get to that level to where you know you got the good guys there, and the events are going to mean something. But have more of them. I think that at least one a quarter is not any. Funds are basically unlimited for someone like SuperCell. So putting on one event a quarter, I think is perfectly called for. And I think that the more you do it and the more you refine it and make it actually a strong competitive showing, people are going to love it, and it will continue to hold people in this community, because people are drifting away. And so that is my number two thing that I think we've got to do. Pat put out a great video on what he thinks would make a great ClashCon for 2016, and he had some really good points in there that I think could be applied for all events. But just have more events, have more things that SuperCell does with the communities. People they're bought in. We've been playing this game for years, and people are, they're Clash of Clans players. So interact with them, have them have these events, have them on large scales, stream, televised. And I think you're going to get, the more you do it and the more you refine it, the more people are going to receive it well, and it's going to be something that people look forward to. So more events. New features and new troops. Now, this is something that has been lacking for years. Since War came out and since the Lava Hound came out, those are the last two things in the game that were actually new features of a game or a new troop. And that is, for a company as successful and as large as a player base as SuperCell has, it's pretty much unheard of to go the length of time they have without a new feature, without a new troop. So they have got to ramp that up, and not just for 2016, but every year going forward. There needs to be something. There needs to be, and again, I go back to it, I've harped on this, but if you need to make the team bigger, make the team bigger. There's got to be someone working on the next feature for the game. You can't have the same thing over and over. Eventually, people get burnt out on it. And I know some people are going to scream, oh, they gave us Town Hall 11. That was a game changer. Fine. It still was not a new feature. It was just a new Town Hall. There's nothing new about it. It's just a different colored Town Hall. It gives a new hero, but still a small percentage of the population actually is enjoying that and playing it right now. There needs to be a new gameplay feature. I have given my suggestions on stuff like that. If you don't know, go back and watch the old videos. I've given several ideas about something like that. And my number one pick would be like a 5 versus 5 quick clan war type thing, where you just pick it up. It lasts an hour, maybe 2 hours, but an hour is probably that sweet spot you want to shoot for. Gives you time to plan some solid attacks to where you can do it. It's over. Even if you have to set the device down and come back, a couple of 15, 20-minute sessions, and it's over. I think that will really, really draw a lot more people in. Don't do away with wars the way they are now, but just add that to it. And troops, man, come on. We got to have it. You got to have a new troop every year. I mean, that's the bottom line. This is a huge, huge company with millions and millions of players. You've got to have a new troop every year. I mean, one troop. It's not asking a lot. And I think they can do it. They've just got to refocus themselves into doing that and putting that into the game, because I think we're coming up on 2 years of the Lava Hound, and that's pretty insane. If not, it's like a year and a half. I don't know. It's a long freaking time. It's time, and they need to have a schedule every year, new troop, and ideally at least every other year a new feature, game changing, the way Clan Wars was, a completely different way to actually enjoy the game with the troops, with the heroes that you've built. We spend all this time, we spend all this money building these town halls, building these clans and these communities and these our little village, and we need different ways to enjoy it. So there you go. The next thing is to redouble their efforts to interact with the community. Now, I will give SuperCell credit here. They have upped their game. The Twitter feed has been much more lively. They actually respond to people on forums. They actually put out information, hey, here's what we're working on, but it needs to be even more. And I continue to point to a company like Super Evil Megacorp that does Vainglory. Every week they have a developer stream. Now, I'm not saying SuperCell should copy that. What I'm saying is they should redouble their efforts to communicate even more, interact even more with the community. If you ask any Vainglory player, what's one of their favorite things about Vainglory? I would say in the top one or two things they're going to tell you is the company itself, the way they interact with the community, the way they are involved with the community. That is what SuperCell is lacking and has been lacking since its inception, or at least since I picked the game up. I've never felt like they are a part of the Clash community. They are on their tower on high in Finland, looking down on us and occasionally dropping us something cool. They need to be part of the community. It makes people so much happier. It just makes the game better. It makes the environment better. It's just I don't know. It does something that's almost intangible. But Supercell needs to. They're doing better. I'm giving them credit. They are doing better. They need to do even more. Even more. Let's see. Get rid of the canned or boilerplate responses from your customer service. When I contact customer service and I have a problem in a game, I don't want a response. I actually responded back to a customer service and I asked them, I said, can you not, I asked them a question and the response I got literally did not even address the question. It was some copy paste response that had nothing to do with what I was asking. And I asked the person, I said, can you literally not respond to me like a human being and just answer my question? It doesn't have to be a PC bullcrap response, just a human talking to another human. You work at Supercell. I am a player of your game. I have a question for you. It is incredibly frustrating to get those responses from customer service, and it needs to be addressed. It's a small thing, but to me, it is a big thing because that just shows that you really don't have time for your player base. If you can't even have someone behind a computer that actually reads a question and gives a response to that question, I don't want a politician answer to, hey, here's my problem in the game. I want an actual person saying, yes, I can help you with this problem, or no, I'm sorry, I can't. Here's what we can do, here's what we can't do. No more canned responses. No more copy and paste. Just someone answering questions. And some of the questions you guys might have seen tweeted out lately, some of those guys, it's insane. It's insane. This customer service, the in-game customer service needs to be addressed, needs to be handled. It's way out of control. The last thing I'm going to say, it might surprise you, is to fix pushing. And I've talked about this in old videos, so I'm not going to go through my entire detailed plan. But if you haven't heard about it, go to the rant to end all rants video that I did a couple months back, several months back. I go through it in detail there. But stop basing opponents on trophy range. It is a flawed system from the beginning, and it has to be changed. If you do that, then the top guys can only match the top guys, and they're in the clouds for hours. It disincentivizes people from trying to reach those new highs, to trying to be top in the world. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable. Any part of your game should be enjoyable. It's a game. That's what we play it for, is to have fun. And when you're staring at the clouds for hours and hours, and then you get a thing that's worth one trophy or whatever it is up there, that's not fun. Take away the trophy range determining who your opponent is and just say, okay, we are going to find out there amongst all the people that are available to be hit right now, we are going to find the most fair base for you to hit, the most even matchup that is humanly possible. That's where we're going to give you. And we're going to get so many trophies based on percentages and stars that's how you climb the ladder. And then it doesn't matter if you're at Legend League, there's always someone for you to attack. There's always some way for you to enjoy the game, and it's going to be against someone that is in your category. And there is ways to abuse this, but again, I address those ways to where it cannot be abused in my rant video. You can go check it out, but bottom line is they've got to change the way they look at competition. People want fair, good, competitive matchups. If people don't win a lot, they're going to be lower trophies, and that's just the way it is. But the people that are competitive and that want to be that top dog, they're going to rise to the top in this system because they're getting fair matchups. They're not having to wait for hours and hours and hours on end. They can play the game when they want to. They can enjoy it when they want to. And it doesn't just go for Clash. It goes for Clash Royale too. That's the reason I put Clash Royale down. I was playing Clash Royale. I put it down because I was a level 5 and I fought nothing besides level 6s and level 7s, because when I fought level 5s, I was usually winning. And so that is a disincentivizing method for people to win. You want to reward people for winning. Make it to where I'm constantly fighting level 5 guys, and if I rise to the top and I'm the highest ranked level 5 out there, then congratulations to me. I'm the best level 5 there is. You know, it's just, they've got to change their mindset of this. We match people up based on their trophy range, and it's across all their games for the most part. But that is it. Fix pushing. Let's just do a recap here. Fix cheating, and we talked about that. have more events and make the events mean something, new features and new troops, and on a regular basis. Redouble the efforts to interact with the community and get rid of those canned, crappy responses that we get from customer service. It's very frustrating. And then fix pushing. It's pretty simple. And I think anyone would agree, listening to this video, that they give it a fair shake and listen to the points, that if SuperCell did all those things, it would be a great 2016. A 16 that we would all enjoy. The game would be at a much more favorable place for all of us. Because again, I don't think anyone out there right now is really saying, man, SuperCell has got it right where I want it. This game is perfect right now. So hopefully some of these things come to fruition in 2016 and we all are fired up about it. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Until next time, Jake from OneHive doing my best to help you guys suck less.